The big 30. 30 years old. So many people freak out about age, and one of them is 30. So, as this video is being posted, my birthday has passed, and I have hit the cusp of 30 years old. Now my 20s are in the past, and my new phase of my life begins. Most people would freak the fudge out, but not me. I view it as a chapter in my life, and this video is going to be less about me and more about some lessons I learned, especially thought of more so in the past year, of life at 30. So I hope you guys hang on and enjoy the video. So, number one, we live in a fallen world. That's my viewpoint. You don't have to accept it if you don't, but hear me out. You can be a good person. You could do everything right, but there will still be people out there, whether you want to call them nefarious people, people that are of ill nature, or they are just people that are shitty people. And there always will be those type of people out there. You could be the best person, you could do everything right, treat someone properly, and sometimes people gonna peep and they're still gonna suck, try to fuck you over, screw you out of something, be selfish, narcissistic, la da 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 da, right? So, with this being said, people are always gonna be like that. And the biggest lesson is to not take it personally. It is very difficult to not take things personally. If this is the first time you've heard of this concept, it is very crucial to not holding on to things, not becoming bitter, and to live a more stress-free life. Because when you take everything personally, you start feeling anxious, angry, resentful, full of fucking rage, like, you know, you want to scream and punch and kick because shit isn't fair. That's not right because this person screwed you over. And trust me, I've come across many people and many recent circumstances where I wanted to go into a full bout of rage because of just how unfair someone was, how wrong they were, they didn't keep their word, yada da da da. But if I hold on to that, that's just gonna be a heavy weight holding me down. And you can't live your life like that. Because every time you come across these circumstances, these shitty people, and it becomes a sandbag that weighs you down, that's heavy on your heart. That's heavy on your soul. That ain't good, man. Because then it's like walking through water at hip height, or trying to run a mile through hip height snow in a blizzard. You're giving all this effort, trying to move, and it's holding you back. So you gotta let go of this weight that holds you down, because you won't be able to breathe, you won't be able to live, you won't be able to move on with your life. So accept that some people suck out there, and they're never gonna say sorry. Some of those people are never gonna look back and reflect and be like, wow, I screwed up, I'm an asshole, sorry. Sometimes it won't happen, and you just gotta let it go, and you gotta not take it personally. So that's kind of the big number one thing that's popped up to me, especially getting to the age of 30. And the second big thing pertains a lot to introverts and good-hearted people. And it's the notion that you gotta have a backbone. You can't let people walk over you, and you can't please everybody. Do not be a people pleaser. You have the right to stand up for yourself. No one has a gun to your head. You know, oftentimes when we are introverted at heart, And that's just a label. Don't let it control your life. But when you have tendencies to be a shy person, in which that people label as introvert, to oppose that, we try to please people to make them like us, to do everything right to make them want to be our friends or talk to us. And you can't let that control your life, because when you do that, people will take advantage of you and they will walk over you. So no matter what age you're at and you hear this, you gotta develop a backbone and stand up for yourself. Have dignity for yourself. Now, that doesn't mean to be rude to other people. It doesn't mean to be narcissistic and you're just like, I'm number one, fuck everybody else, and no. It means that when you know something's not right and you don't feel like you're being treated right, say it in a polite, respectful, mature way. And I assure you, it will make you feel better about yourself. Because at the end of the day, you'll know that if no one's got my back, I got my own back. I know what's right, I know what's wrong, and I know how I want to be treated. So I would say definitely grow and develop a backbone if you don't have one. Don't let people walk over you. And I could say one thing, it seems daunting, but once you start doing it, you'll be surprised how simple it is. You stand up for yourself once or twice, people get the picture, and they'll be like, oh, okay, all right. And sometimes they'll actually apologize. If you stand up for yourself and you know, someone's not talking to you right, or you defend somebody else and you speak up, sometimes they will react emotionally and they'll snap back at you and, you know, and then walk away. And if they're a mature person, they'll come back and be like, you know what? I was wrong. You were right. And when you get that when you go through a circumstance like that, it's really eye-opening, because it makes you reflect on all the times you didn't stand up for yourself, or you didn't stand up for somebody else, or have a backbone. And the tricky part of that is you kind of have to develop it through experience and basically trial by fire. It ain't fun, it's gonna suck, but you have to go through hard, uncomfortable scenarios to develop that muscle to stand up for yourself. So number 2 is develop that backbone. And I'm gonna say number 3, if I really had to pick one, and it kind of develops into, all these kind of are synchronistic. They all tie into each other. But number 3, I would say, is not to be afraid of people and to take things personally. Oftentimes, people will try to manipulate you. They'll try to throw false threats and bring litigious things and lawyers and this and that, and I'm gonna do this, and instill fear in you. Whether it's governmental, whether it's a landlord, whether it's parents, a relationship, a coworker, a boss. You shouldn't let that fear make you feel crushed, like a turtle hiding in a shell. Because all it is talk, until there's actually things that are following up with it. But what happens at times with people, especially people that are maybe more timid, is that they'll get fearful and meek and scared and comply immediately to whatever that person is trying to dictate over you. Unless they actually have a gun to your temple, they're not going to hurt you. They're not going to kill you. All right? Take it as a bluff. Like you're playing a game of poker and they're trying to call your bluff. And when you do that, and then you don't take things personally, and you kind of have that don't give a fuck attitude, it will relieve any heaviness that you feel on yourself. And it will make you feel calm, safe, and not anxious. Because who the hell wants to live an anxious, fearful life? Because all that does is pull you down. Those lower, nasty vibes, it doesn't help you out. So, number 3, people talk shit, but don't let it tear you down and make you feel anxious and fearful. Take it with a grain of salt. And it ties back to number 2, have a backbone. And number 1, just let shit go. And that's basically it. So these are 3 of the things I've pondered upon within the first, probably the past year or so, and hitting 30, and all the experiences in my 20s. So I hope this helps give you some insight, some actionable steps, and let you kind of reflect on your own life. Leave some comments below how you guys feel if you dealt with something like this, and feel free, please, to share. Helps me out. And really, it's not about me when you share these things. It's mostly about just sharing the knowledge and information to other people who would really benefit from it. It's more about you than it is me. Love you guys. Take care. Keep on keeping on.